I'm Kahja Elliott, and I'm a food enthusiast. Bronx born and raised, ATL made, Bay Area becoming. And I talk to people about how they create community through food in the Bay and beyond. Welcome to the As Told By podcast. We're back with a new episode of the As Told By podcast. I am here in Oakland, at a site many people know and love in Oakland. I'm here on the campus of Laney College, more specifically at the Laney Bistro, with a fourth-generation professional chef whose family roots are in the restaurant business. She trained formally in both England and Paris and has worked and traveled across continents executing meals for prominent political and entertainment figures. And she now leads the culinary arts program at Oakland's very own Laney College, where she serves as department chair and executive chef. Welcome, Chef Chantal Martin, to the As Told By podcast.
Oh, thank you, Kahja. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm so honored to be one of your guests. I love your podcast, I should say, and all of your Instagram. I'm following you there as well. Your vlogging.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I have a good time
terrific.
on that Instagram.
We may I speak on behalf of everyone? We feel it vicariously through you.
I love that.
I feel like I'm going right with you when you go on these journeys. It's fabulous.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm going for. So thanks for that. Let's start off with the signature question. What kind of food family do you come from?
Kind of like a child's gourmet Disneyland.
Ooh, do tell.
Well, my mom is a classically trained chef. She was the chef of our family restaurant. And, she cooked, of course, all through the week. But on the weekends, our weekends were a little bit different. They'd be on Mondays and Tuesdays. She would cook at home. And it was... always at least 4 courses. My father didn't feel he had eaten unless he had at least 4 courses.
Okay. Wait, so that's appetizer?
I'm actually lying. It was probably more than that. So we'd have a couple of appetizers.
Okay.
We'd have the plat, the dinner, a little bit of cheese after, a little dessert. Yeah.
Nice.
So, summertime, it'd be things like, one thing that's like make a tomato salad, like beautiful fresh tomatoes and finely chopped shallots, a little fresh parsley, a little simple vinaigrette, a little champagne vinegar, oil, salt, sea salt, pepper. Back then, the balsamics and all that hadn't really come out so much. I mean, you could get them, but they weren't that, so just classic red wine or champagne vinegar. Radishes. Radio beurre, like, sliced radishes on bread, buttered bread with a little bit of sea salt on top. And my parents were so cute because my father, the skin of the radish would upset his tummy. So he would peel them, perfectly peel them. My mom would get all the red radish skin and he would eat the interior.
Okay, so waste not, want not.
Want not, yeah.
Between the two of us, we're eating them all.
You got it, yeah.
Okay.
Roast chicken, juice drizzled over watercress, those sorts of things.
Okay, so they were cooking in your family.
My mom, yeah, and it was not just us, because very frequently all of the family friends were in industry, so they come over. So she'd be cooking, for sometimes us, but also very frequently others as well. So she was like nonstop cooking.
So you mentioned the industry, and I know that your family has a footprint in restaurants.
Yes,
here in the Bay. Tell me about that.
Well, we had a restaurant for 37 years that I ran for the last third of it. La Brasserie, and then I took over. We remodeled, and it became Trio Bistro.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're listening and this probably predates you like it predates me, tell people where it was.
On Grand Avenue.
Okay.
So just a hop, skip, and a jump from Laney, actually.
Okay. And
it kind of did full circle there. So the Grand Lake Theater, you have the portals that, those beautiful portals that kind of, enter you into the lake. We were a little bit up, but right across, a view of the lake. Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started with one unit, if you will, for La Brasserie. We sat. It was small, but not. I mean, it was about 40. In a pinch, we sat 50. And then after the remodel, that doubled it.
Okay.
At least, yeah, with a nice, beautiful central bar, etc.
Nice.
Yeah, it was lovely.
When did those close?
So 2008, 9, yeah, 8, 9, 8.
Okay,
that was right on the
before
cusp.
me.
Yeah,
I got here in 2014.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come from this family that is really eating well, really focusing on cohesive meals, and then y'all are in the restaurant business. So tell me about how that transitioned to education, and then being on the educational side, what were some of the immediate adjustments you started to realize you would be making?
So, I sold the restaurant. It was, time, lease changes and health issues, etc. So I had to sell. And then it was like, okay, what do you do, with the rest of your life, Chef Chantal, And, after running your own restaurant for well over a decade, it's kind of hard to go on the line after that, And it was funny. I had customers who they would joke, if we ever win the lotto, we're going to hire you to be our private chef. And I just thought, ha ha ha, this kind of thing. And then after I sold the restaurant, I'm like, that's not such a bad idea, And did have some friends who knew a person who was a private chef, got the contact information for the agency that they got their employment through, because when you kind of go to that level, you go to these agency sorts of things.
Okay.
And got hired, and spent a few really incredible years with a few different principals, private chefing, also doing some estate management, and really I got very lucky. I had really good people that I worked for, and had some incredible experiences. Lots of travel. Lots of very beautiful ways of traveling, the private jets and yachts and all of that. But then after a few years, I'm a Cancer, and I kind of just sort of like, I need to be home a little bit more, find and then also thinking about just the long term, it's a wonderful thing to do, but ultimately you're living other people's lives in a way. Not really, but you're traveling with, you're in their homes, you're, making their these beautiful meals and events for them, which is fabulous. But long term, I had to ask myself, where did I see myself? And
okay, wait a second. I have to ask a question here, because I'm finding this fascinating. It sounds very jet-setty, right? As you fly around the world, boats, private planes, and all the things. And, one could think, okay, you do this and you cook for the family, and eventually the family will go to bed, or they go do their own thing. And then you're in these fabulous destinations where you can go out and kind of, siphon off your own time and adventures. But I get the feeling that is not the case.
No. That'd be lovely. Maybe with a couple more hours in the day and mega more doses of caffeine, perhaps. but you're on. You're getting all the supplies. You're doing all the prep. You're cooking. You're serving. You're cleaning up. You're working.
It's a job.
It's a job.
Yeah.
They're on vacation, not you.
Not you.
And you want to make sure they have a beautiful vacation.
Yes.
So that keeps you on your toes. Yeah.
Okay.
But I did get to see some beautiful places, but
sure.
not as a tourist.
Yeah. But I hear you in that traveling lifestyle does over time start to take its wear and tear on you.
Yeah.
And you were ready to settle down.
Yeah. And so I thought, okay, I had given some teaching classes at my restaurant. And also, just in my work as a private chef, they would have these beautiful kitchens, usually open, and I would, it was a couple of them had children. They would be in the kitchen, wanting to know what I was doing, and show them, talk to them, etc. And very frequently, the guests as well. They would kind of amble in and and what are you doing? As they had a little apéro or whatnot, and I thought, okay. Teach. And then I had also a very good friend, still I don't know why I'm in the past tense here, but at that time and still today, who had been formerly a teacher. And I thought, God, teaching is something that had always appealed to me as well. Mm-hmm. And I thought, like, going through the credentialing system, time is of the essence. You always feel, no matter where you are in your life, you feel like, okay, it's too late, So I was thinking, do I have enough time to do that? And then I thought, hold on, maybe I can teach something I already know. Mm-hmm. And I know how to cook. I know how to run a restaurant. I know hospitality. I know these things. And so I thought, is a job like that available? So I did a little bit of research, and lo and behold, I saw this position at Laney College. Mm-hmm. And I thought, right in my backyard. I thought, so, I applied, and kind of like the rest is history. I was blessed to be hired first as an adjunct, and then eventually as full-time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And really in your backyard, because I know we talked, and you told me, like, you're from here. You were born here in Oakland. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, okay. Mm-hmm.
This little lake has a lot of meaning to me. As you see, we're on the shores of kind of like the estuary of Lake Merritt.
Yes.
And I was born at Merritt Hospital.
Okay.
And my beautiful parents opened a restaurant right on Lake Merritt on Grand Avenue.
You're an Oakland original.
I am.
Okay.
We
coined that term. Okay, so you see this role at Laney, you apply. So what do you come in doing originally?
So originally, I was supposed to be teaching a first semester class, and then just before the term started, I guess things had changed, and they needed me to teach a second semester class and some lecture classes. So it was all kind of birth by fire sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But the interesting the thing that I think for me just got me, it was that first day, despite not knowing anybody, knowing really the layout at all, I'd come, for a few minutes, just kind of was taken on a brief tour, and that was about it. Mm-hmm. And then, seeing these students and doing these classes, etc. I left that day, and I remember going home, and of course, the beginning of the term is in August, so we were blessed at that point with a little bit of nice warm weather. Okay. And I thought, I'm going to take myself for a little walk here. And on the walk, I felt like I was in one of those movies, from the 50s or something, where they played music in the background. People sang their narrative and all of that.
You're having a good day.
And I felt, what? This is for me. This is where I'm meant to be. Mm. I just had that feeling so strongly. I was elated. Okay. I was really just elated. I just knew I had found my home.
Oh, yeah. I love that you phrase it that way.
Yeah.
I think that's so important when people are figuring out what it is they want to do for work, is think about, or at least take notice of, where you are and what you're doing when you are feeling joy.
Yeah.
I think that's a good indicator. Sometimes we just have our joy and we're in the moment, and, we're not analyzing it that way. But I have become in recent years more aware of specific times and places and activities where I'm the happiest. Yeah. And that gives me a lot of indicators about what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Living your passion.
Yes.
Really, and contributing through that.
Yes.
Right? Because, yes, I was, as a private chef, but I hope, and I believe I did, give a lot of joy and a lot of pleasure, with delicious meals and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. But through teaching, I just feel like I have the opportunity to give back so much more. Mm. Culinary, food, hospitality has blessed me with a really varied and rich career. Mm. I mean, it's taken me in a few different directions, and I would love to be able to give people that same opportunity. Mm-hmm. Because it's not, some people, yes, are going to be working the line, which is very, it's very viscerally sensual. I mean, you're on the line, you've got all the elements going, you've got the orders coming at you. And for people that vibe that way, it's great. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a reason why some of us do that, because we love it. Yeah. But some people can't, they don't like that. But there are so many other things you can do in culinary, right? It's just, literally the world becomes your oyster. And,
no pun intended.
No, I mean, you learn how to shuck it, and you learn how to prepare it a whole bunch of different ways, and you can, go anywhere with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so that brings me to like my next question, because, this is a college, you're teaching it, but we're in this space societally where people have had a lot of exposure to cooking instruction. We have whole networks dedicated to food instruction. Chefs are so much more visible and accessible. So what for you has been the difference in knowing how to cook versus teaching someone to cook? Because I would imagine people come in and, they already have some knowledge set or believe that they have some knowledge set where they're like, yeah, I know that, we're good. Mm-hmm. So how do you approach teaching people in a space where people have so much access to culinary instruction?
So, whether you're a restaurant chef or you're an instructor chef, you're always teaching. As a restaurant chef, you have a menu of recipes that you want to deliver to your customers. You want the taste to be a particular way. You want it to look a particular way on the plate. It's got to hit a particular point in terms of food cost, etc., labor cost, and you have to teach that. You teach that to your staff. And we do the same thing in instruction. You're demoing, you're explaining. I think the difference, and I may be going slightly not quite to your point. I'll try to get to it. I'm trying to remember. So I think in instruction, the difference is that in both cases, you're constructively correcting, giving guided correction to get to the point that you want to go. But in instruction, you're elaborating upon it. You're giving. So in this happened here. Let's extrapolate. If you're doing this, it could happen as well. So you can use the same technique to help you out if you're in this sort of situation. Okay. And we also show multiple different ways of doing something. Whereas in a restaurant, you need to do it that way because we have production and we're trying to be as make as quick or short or as linear a line from point A to point B as possible. Yeah. Whereas in instruction, we show you, okay, you can fabricate a chicken this way. You can also do it this way. You can also do it that way. There's many different ways of doing things. And we're always trying to also provide the theory behind things so people can extrapolate. If they're in a different situation, they can use that experience they had in school and say, oh yeah, I remember chef told me, oh, if this happens, if this happened with the hollandaise, but if it happens with a different sauce, I can also use that same technique or whatever the case happens. So as much as there are differences for sure, there are similarities between the two. When it comes to folks coming in thinking that they know,
I've been watching Jacques Pepin all my life.
Yes, I know how to do this. Well, but you signed up for this class, didn't you? So if and we're here to teach you. Yes. So we have a little contract here. You signed up to learn. I'm here to give you that information.
Yes.
Right. So open yourself up to the experience, and I think, and also people, like so many people watch stuff on YouTube, or whatever their platform of choice is. I don't want to necessarily say one or the other, but and it looks so easy. Yeah. It's like, oh, I can do that. It looks, even professionals look, oh, that looks really easy. And then we do it. We're like, wait a second, they edited something here because clearly that's not. They didn't go from there to there, or whatever the case might be. So I think when people get into the space and start actually working realistically, they say they discover, oh, this is not as easy as I thought it was. My hands, they don't have the muscle memory. Their hands just don't perform the same way as someone who's been doing it for 30 years. It's and they realize there's a pretty quick reality check that hits. Yeah. So I think that honestly, most of the time it takes care of itself. Okay. In that regard, people just are like, oh gosh, I didn't realize, Okay,
start taking some
notes. Can you show me again,
right,
please, so I can get it? Yeah, it's yeah.
pretty soon. It doesn't take long for them to get with the program.
But that being said, we do have some students who really, come with quite a bit of experience, and they just want to up their game. Or they need a certificate to show a little polishing, a little bit, some additional information, or they need a certificate to show their discipline, whatever the case might be, for their employer. And so we do have a certificate. It's the Advanced Culinary Techniques certificate, which is basically the 4th semester of classes.
Okay.
And it's scheduled as accommodatingly as possible for folks' schedule.
Who are working.
Who are working. And so we do have folks that come in and specifically for that.
Okay. So this program meets a variety of people in various different places. So I know that Laney dates back quite a ways in Oakland, but let's talk specifically about the bistro. So I had occasion to come here for the first time. It was a couple of months back and have dinner. I was surprised it was full in here. I'm like, oh, people know about this, even though it's almost secluded on the Laney campus, and there's some construction just adjacent to here, so you cannot see it from the street. If you don't know where it is on the campus, you definitely will be walking around. I was trying to find it. But once you get in here, and once folks clearly got in here, people had brought their wine. There was a menu of a number of courses where you had some options that you could pick from. So talk to me about how long the bistro specifically has been around, and then how do students end up working in here? Okay.
So the bistro, I don't know the exact date that the bistro was constructed. I want to say somewhere in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And it predates me. So there are still a few things that do predate me. They're getting less and less, but they still exist. And it is, we do have quite a fair amount of construction going on, so lots of great plans in the future for Laney. But in the meantime, our little bistro is really hidden. You cannot see it from the street. And but once you find us, and I tell you, our customers, I'm like, bless you. I don't know how you do it, Those that know us, they know. I mean, they know how to get here, and it's fine.
Yes.
But, for the first timers, I'm like, just
good luck. Yeah. Throw up a flare.
Just thank you. So they take the class that they take. It's 3rd and 4th semester that I instruct, and that's when they are in the bistro. So they rotate throughout the semester. So 1 week there'll be a group that will be out doing front of house. So they learn the progression of service. They learn how to host. They learn how to set the tables, to deliver the plates, to clear the plates, to work the POS system, to do beverage service, all of that. And then for the next few weeks, then they're in the kitchen. So they kind of rotate throughout, and they'll be working at a particular station. I run it very much a brigade system. So there's groups working on, various menu items. And and they just continue to rotate through. So they're, always working. They see the front and the back, and they realize the huge importance of having a good relationship between the two, because they only work together. They do not work separately.
Okay. Yeah. So that goes back to what we talked about just a moment ago about people coming in with a lot of experience and exposure and feeling like, maybe you can fast track or skip over a few parts, but the program seems to touch on so many aspects. Even if you are the best cook, the POS, the beverage service, the hospitality function, all those things, you're not going to get that from watching networks or online. And these are things that are experiential. And if you don't learn them, even the portioning, right? A funny story. I'm no caterer, but, the folks at my day job know about what I do on the other side in food media. And they put me in charge of catering for an event. It was a multi-day event we're doing. And I learned very quickly, you have no idea how to order food in portions because there was so much food left over. It is not just, we have 70 people, so it's 70 people. Mm-hmm. It's not just apples to apples that way. So these are all the things that are part of what people would be learning in conjunction with a program like this. Yeah.
It's, we have a fabulous faculty and staff who, combined have countless decades of experience between us. I don't want to, age anybody. And, the students have access to all of us. And and throughout, and all of the classes, they are so rich in information and subject matter and experience that people might be inclined to want to skip around at the very beginning. They might think, but then once they start, they're like, wow, this was a fundamentals class that I thought I really knew, but I've learned so much. And they say, okay, well, now I know, the next class is going to be more and more and more, and I'm just really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it all builds on each other.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. You talked about the students, and I'm sure, certainly the Oakland community and beyond, of course, but the Oakland community, I know, is just full of Laney graduates. Are there any, not necessarily, famous in the way we think of those words, but, folks who have a really nice culinary reputation around here that came out of this program?
Lots. And I, so much of it is, you talk about fame and whatnot. So much of that now is on social, and I am, kind of a little bit of a Luddite there. So I'm not the best person to say, to really be able to say all of them that are out there, because I know there are so many. But we have a couple on our website that graciously, agreed to tell their story on our website.
Nice.
And we've got a lot of just powerhouses out there. One of them, I think you're familiar with, Aisha Abdullah. She's got Around Midnight Dinner Pop-Up. And she's also doing performance nutrition. She's got a vlog out there that is
bodybuilding. She's doing yes.
But the whole thing about nutrition in tandem with achieving those sorts of goals, which again, like I said, there are so many things you can do in culinary.
Yes.
It's not, Aisha definitely has done these beautiful pop-ups that are extraordinary.
Those pop-ups, I don't think I missed one. I've been to all of them. Shout out to you, because I make it my business to get a ticket. Yes.
We're going together next one.
Done deal. We're going together. Yeah.
But see, she's branched off into another thing, which is, I think the correlation between nutrition and eating, which of course is just natural, but has been so separated, over the years. And I think getting back, people are getting back to that, recognizing the importance. And that's just phenomenal to me. Because, you can know this is good for me to eat. I should be eating this.
Yes.
But it doesn't taste good, and then you don't want to eat it. But when you have culinary training, you can say, okay, these things are good, and I know how to put them together so they taste delicious.
Okay.
And now people are happy to eat healthfully, it's fabulous. Also, on our website, we've got Aaron Stewart. So he's got Mexicu. So he did this great thing several years back. He fused Mexican and barbecue together.
Oh, nice.
And so he's been going gangbusters. And if you look him up on, Yelp and Google and all of that, I think he's got really definitely almost 5 stars.
Oh,
and he's got
Mexicu.
Way over 8,000 followers. He's just really going crazy.
Okay.
Wonderful. One that I got to be more in the social loop here. We have a student, she's got Chingones, which is right here on 4th.
Huh.
Myra. She's so it's a Mexican restaurant that she's opened.
Okay.
Been there also for a few years. Fabulous reputation. And also, I just saw it because I was, I just by chance saw it on it was Instagram. I saw it on. No, it was an article I read. I think it was SF Eater or something. Anyway, I'm not quite sure which, but she's partnered with 3 other women. They're going to be opening the first all-female sports bar in Oakland. They had the Valkyries there.
Yes. I've seen information about that. Yes.
Yeah. So, and we have students, gosh, in all things. I'm not necessarily famous, but we have students that are chefs in the Coast Guard. So they have their ship and they're the chef.
I'm sure they're famous on the boat.
Yeah, on the boat. There, I bet. Yes. But I mean, just the various things that they go off and do. Mm-hmm. We have many that have gotten to hotel. One, I want to keep privacy, but she's very well known in industry. She was a single mother, 2 kids, didn't have much work experience, knew that thought she would like to bake, took the program, excelled incredibly in it, and really just ran with it, and started working hotels in San Francisco. Then COVID hit, and then she reinvented herself and went online, started, making product, did extremely well on that. Could have stopped there with a career, quite frankly, but still, she really loved the service aspect and the production and the constant creativity to make new menu items, etc. So as soon as COVID started, the hotels started to open up again, she went right back in. Ended up being a pastry chef at Ritz-Carlton, Half Moon Bay, and then moved back east, and she's now executive pastry chef at the Congressional Country Club. And she's amazing. I mean, I see her posts and all the rest of it. It's just amazing what she's doing, and has made just an incredible career for herself. That is just extraordinary. And they love her there because they've done a lot of videos of her, the club itself, and they're posting of her. So it's really quite incredible. Okay. Yeah.
So the people are out there.
They are out there doing incredible things. Yeah.
Doing wonderful work. And, you're a big part of that because you've taught them, but I mean, you got your own pedigree in addition to all the things that you've done in your own training. You're also a member of the San Francisco chapter of Les Dames d'Escoffier.
Yes, Les Dames d'Escoffier.
Yes. So tell people who may not know what that organization is, and what do you think has been the impact on your career and overall experience as a result of being part of this community of women?
Oh my gosh. So Les Dames d'Escoffier is an incredible philanthropic organization of female females in hospitality, I should say. It's for females in food, let's put it that way. Because we have representation, we have members who are farmers, who are vintners, who are, of course, restaurateurs, educators, book writers, food media, marketing, hoteliers, travel, anything connected with food in some way. We have members that represent those careers. And it's all about supporting each other, but really supporting the next generation of talent, and helping them to get their foot in the door, and then furthermore, helping them to advance in their careers. And it's just an incredible organization. It's so much talent and wisdom wrapped up in our chapter, and there's many chapters across the country and the world, for that matter. So it's an incredible thing. I'm just very, very blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah, I went to one of their mixers recently. Shout out to one of my mentors and friends, Linda Carucci, and she invited me to go to one of the events, and I was meeting all kind of people in that room, and people had so many interesting career arcs in food, and I was just like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing, or I knew that is a thing, and you're the person that was doing the thing. So it was so interesting and fun to meet so many women who had done such impactful work in the space.
Well, and it's lovely that you mentioned Linda, because it's because of Linda that you and I have met, right?
Yes.
So those connections are just incredible. Linda is like, I think she must be the ultimate culinary connector.
She's a culinary extension cord, because she is connecting folks left and right.
In fact, we had Dominique Rennes come to the campus, which was an amazing event, and that was really Linda. She said, this chef just got 3 stars. She's the first female chef in the United States to get 3 stars, 3 Michelin stars. And she goes, wouldn't it be great if she came and spoke at Laney? And I said, Linda, you're too much. Not really. She could do that. Absolutely. And she just, and we made it happen. She was just amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for y'all. Y'all doing good work over there. All right, so we've talked a lot about the bistro and the school in general, but let's run through the actual programs, because there are 2 of them. So there's a certificate program, and then there is a degree program. So talk about what they are and the difference between them.
So the certificate program basically is all of the culinary classes, the labs, the lectures that support those classes, and the degree is basically just your general education. I shouldn't say just your general, but your general education classes in addition, in tandem with the certificate. So it takes about 39 to 40 units to get the certificate, because we've got the baking and pastry program, and we also have the culinary arts and restaurant management programs, 2 different programs. So it takes about those 40 units to get the certificates in either one of those, and then it takes 20 units of general education to get the Associates of Science in either of those 2 disciplines. So if you do just the culinary work, you get the Certificate of Achievement. But if you do also the general education classes, then you get the certificate plus an Associates of Science in that discipline.
Okay.
So it's, Associates of Science of Baking and Pastry, or Associates of Science in culinary arts and restaurant management.
Got it. And then how long is each? I know the associates is typically 2 years, and the certificate, is it half the time? Is it 1 year?
It takes you could probably do it in a year and a half if you were.
Oh, you might as well stay for the 2.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, if you really want to double up or whatnot. And honestly, a full load, they say that a full load is 12 units, right? And our semesters, there's a few of them where with the certificate requirements you are taking about 12 units.
Okay.
But for the majority of the semesters, the 4 semesters that the program runs for, it's much less than that, and so it's perfect to balance out with some GE classes.
Okay.
So you take your GE with the certificate requirements, and at the end of 4 semesters, you've got both certificate and the associates.
Okay, nice.
Very nice, yeah.
It's easy to work out around lives, needs.
Yeah, and we do try very hard to schedule to accommodate people's lives and needs. I would say the majority of our students actually do work while they're going through the programs. So.
Okay. And
it seems to work.
It's also really affordable.
Yes.
In my research, it looks like the certificate program is under $2,000. The degree program is under $4,000 with the supplies. So what I love about that is that, to me, it helps to democratize who ultimately is going to be in these spaces, either leading or running or even owning restaurants and the experience in kitchens, which then creates a long-lasting impact in the industry.
Absolutely. And I will just piggyback on that just a little bit. Those are most students do qualify for some form of financial aid. And so and I think that's another thing that's just incredible about Laney is the number of resources and how helpful everyone is here to provide that information and to actually help students to do, to take the necessary steps to avail themselves of all those good things. So I always say to students, don't discount, don't say, oh no, I wouldn't qualify. Check, it's a very simple form. Make an appointment with an academic counselor. They are fabulous. They will guide you through the steps and just check it out. And you probably will surprise yourself. Maybe you don't get a full ride, but it could be significant. And many do get a full ride, actually. So it's, really, and then, avail yourselves of the clubs that we have here. Get to know people. And also, the clubs also have many resources. They have vouchers for books and vouchers for supplies and uniforms, and so it's not just that you're doing fun things with wonderful people, but you can also get some things to help you with your classes as well. There's just so many wonderful resources.
Okay. I mean, that definitely lowers the bar to entry.
Yeah,
is that the price is affordable. So people come into this program, some of them are already working in restaurants, some of them are just coming from other things altogether. We're in this societal moment where people are either volunteering for or being forced into a career change, right? And a lot of those career changes are coming out of corporate environments and into more tactile environments, right? And hospitality industry certainly is one of those. What transferable skills do you think make for a good career in the culinary arts that people may not see an immediate correlation to?
Oh, so many. So again, culinary arts is hand in hand with hospitality. It's nourishing people. You're serving these wonderful meals, etc. Anything in retail. People that have been in retail, that customer service skill that they've developed, incredibly important. Laying out merchandise.
Oh yeah, like visual merchandise.
Yeah, the same sort of visual things we do on plating, etc. And just laying out a dining room, very, very important. I had a student who was in men's clothing, retail men's clothing.
Okay.
And did the most beautiful jobs on the tables in the restaurant, in the bistro. It's like, nobody laid a table as well as you did. It was like beautiful, stunning. Because it's very important. We eat with our eyes first.
Yes.
So, and one of the first things that when someone walks into a restaurant, they see the dining room. How does that dining room look? Is everything in its place? Is the lighting correct? Is all the cutlery, spotless and lined up nicely? Do I feel a sense of peace? Do I feel like I'm going to be taken care of in this environment? Am I being spoiled? And that's a good thing, you're right? We want to spoil them.
Yes.
So those sorts of things I think correlate extremely well. But even, office work. Someone who's doing clerical work, because there's a lot. You spoke about your catering event and all the ordering that you had to do. You have to do a phenomenal amount of ordering, not just for food, but equipment, supplies, scheduling, maintenance, etc. So someone who's doing payroll.
People got to get paid.
Yeah, getting schedule, making schedules. So all of those things. Someone who's savvy about doing, working computer programs, and who's just organized, has that organized turn of mind. Very, very important, very transferable. The sciences, anyone who's been in sciences, we're dealing, everyone thinks culinary arts. Yes, it is a lot of art for sure, but there is a significant amount of science. Our students graduate with an Associates of Science in Culinary Arts. It kind of seems, I don't know, a little bit...
almost abstract.
Yeah, but that's what they get. So yeah, there's just so much. Honestly, I think almost everything has some sort of transferable skill.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the science. If you've ever had chocolate seize up on you, you find out very quickly how closely science is tied to food, or you've had a cake that didn't rise.
Exactly.
These are all the
sauce
ways.
That's broken.
A sauce that breaks. Yes. All these things have happened.
Meat that you can bounce into a basketball court or something.
All of this is science.
Yeah.
Okay, so people, come in here through all different roads. The culture of restaurants has had a reputation. You talked about the line earlier, for being really these like tough environments, grueling, right, is the word I'm looking for. Do you feel like we've turned a corner on that now that there's so much diversity around who's running kitchens these days?
I think we definitely have. And on a couple of different fields. Number one, what you speak to, who's running kitchens today, as well as just employees no longer putting up with that. Like there are other jobs. People recognize I don't have to be in this toxic environment. There's a place a few doors down that I can try instead, right? So I think, it's gotten a lot of attention, over the years, because frankly, there are a lot of books and shows that have been done about it, and I guess it makes good, good entertainment. But there are so many restaurants out there that have historically and continue to run very excellent organizations, and they are, I hate for them to be overshadowed by the narrative. That narrative so much. Yeah, sure, it exists. It has existed, and I think it's getting better for the very reasons that you said, and of course, employees, just lack of putting up with it anymore. But there are many excellent restaurants and chefs out there. Many of them that we are affiliated with, through our students, and they serve as mentors, really for the next generation coming up. I'm just thinking, we've had we've had students that have interned. I'm just thinking Aisha for just a moment. Interned at Chez Panisse, for example. It has a great culture of mentoring and developing new talent. Yeah. Dominique Rennes, Atelier Rennes, student that was a pastry cook there, that had a phenomenal experience. That same student, in fact, right now, she incredible, just a tour de force in the kitchen, and one who really has goals and so right now she's at Bouchon, nice. And she commutes an hour and a half each way, leaving at 2:00 in the morning, wow. to be there. And she loves it. And a couple of weeks back, she invited me and my colleague, Chef Raji, to dinner there. Nice. And so we went, and she asked, can I take my chefs? She introduced us, and take my chefs on a tour. And they were so welcoming and so genuinely gracious. And they just absolutely just opened up everything. We went through all around, and from the dishwasher to the executive chef. We even got a chance to, Thomas Keller was there, so we got to meet him as well. Nice. They were so genuinely hospitable, to us, but very much so to their employees. You could see the pride in each employee, again, from every level. They were all immaculate in their person, immaculate in their uniform. Of course, the facilities were immaculate, and they were all focused. They were all focused on delivering that excellence. And it was, and there was excellent camaraderie. Everybody was there to support each other because they were going for that end product of excellence. And I just thought, and then to see our student thriving, being so happy in that environment, and to be valued. You could see how much they valued her. And I thought, this is this is the narrative that needs to get out there. Let's not focus on the negative. Let's not give more energy to that. Certainly energy sufficient to get rid of it. Yes. But we got to focus on the good and help that to thrive and become more. Absolutely. There are other experiences happening. Yeah. And I tell students that, sometimes they're in a situation they're not really too happy with, or not necessarily that the people are being awful to them or anything, but they're not doing or learning more or whatever the case. I said, try something else. You're not locked in there. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of options. Yeah. So for a person who is maybe sitting at home thinking that they might be interested in a career in this industry, but maybe they're afraid or they're not sure, what would you tell them about getting started? go for it. Number one, you just go to your search engine of choice and put in culinary schools. A lot's going to come up, but look for something that is going to be convenient for you, because if it's too much of a stretch, if you have any, I think most of us, if we have any reticence about something, we'll use that as an excuse not to do it, right? Like, it's too much of a commute. The hours are not quite right for me. It's too expensive.
Hot. Yeah, the moon is in Venus. All the things.
So, and I think, we're very lucky here at Laney to be extremely local and central, very convenient in our location, our hours, our tuition for sure, and just the excellence of instruction that you can receive, and the connections that you can make and all of that. Go for it.
I mean, we are the number one food city in the country.
Yes.
I mean, I would expect no less.
Yeah. The should have, the could have, the would have, those are horrible things to have on your resume.
Yeah.
Or lack thereof.
And you can come in and have this on your resume.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. I feel like I've learned so much.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
It's been lovely speaking with you.
Thank you.
As always, yeah.
Tell people where they can find out more about the program if they're interested in learning more about it.
Probably our website is the best thing, honestly. We spent a lot of time to get a nice, robust website up there. There's a lot of FAQs on it. You can just kind of peruse through and make sure to click on things. They're all live links. So initially, the homepage might look a little like, but just click and more information will follow. And of course, I've got my email up there. So any questions you've got, just click on that. It'll open up a page immediately, and you can just shoot me an email. I'd be happy to respond. And again, also, I think the big thing I would say another big thing I would say is just get yourself a California Community College account. Student account. Well, that's what you need in order to enroll.
Got it.
So you might, and it takes like about a day to get through the system, but you just go online, you put California Community College student account. It'll take you right to the CCC website. You fill out your information, you get an account, and from there you can take classes at any community college that you want.
Oh, nice.
But I would say, we're a public service. Your tax-paying dollars, provide for this. Take advantage of it. Yes, there are other schools that you can go to, and they're wonderful. I don't want to say, everything has its merit.
Yes.
But, if you have a school that is close by and is economical and has excellent instruction, why not?
Why not?
Why not? It's all there for you.
Yes. Okay, well, look.
And we're there for you.
There you go. Y'all have an open invitation. If you're thinking about it, get off the fence. But I certainly will make sure to share all of those informative links with the show notes. Thank you so much for this. This has been great.
Thank you, Kahja. It was really wonderful.
Yes. If y'all want to keep up with me in between episodes, you can find me at kayinthebay.com or on Instagram at heykayinthebay. That has been this week's episode of the As Told By podcast from beautiful Laney College, more specifically Laney Bistro, where a line of ducks just walked, geese just went, walking right across the grass in this beautiful backdrop. I will see you all on the next episode.